This thing is a piece of shit. All right guys, now before I start this top 5, just definitely take it with a grain of salt and know that I'm just kind of nitpicking away at this Jeep Gladiator to create a video that talks about the things that just bug me a little bit. Like, Jeep did a great job creating this vehicle, but there are things that I think they were lacking on. And honestly, they've created the JL for 2 years before, so you'd think that they'd fix some of these or at least think about it when they designed it. And these are just gonna be my top 5 things that I wouldn't say hate, you could use hate, but I dislike about my new Jeep Gladiator. Let's get started with number 5. So my number 5 is a small pet peeve, and honestly it attracts only small pieces of issues onto it. And on my Rubicon, and it's not really prevalent on the Sport and the Overland and such, but there is this Highline fender flare, and in between that, you've got sort of this crevice or crevasse or however you call it in whatever language, potato, potato. But the issue is when you go out wheeling and get rocks, mud, sand, or anything in there, it has nowhere to go. So the little bit of issues and a little bit of stones that you collect in there that you can't pick out are just gonna sit there and vibrate and eat away at your paint. Now this doesn't really matter if you leave these fenders on forever, but if I go to remove these Rubicon flares and put on a set of FabTech or other brands, you're gonna see all those scratches that those rocks were making, and you're really gonna not have a pretty surface underneath there. Now there have been a few YouTubers that have put almost some weather strip or some sealant in there. That way, when the rocks and that do get in there, it's sitting on a rubber surface and you can just pick them out or vacuum them out easier. The issue with this is that they get jammed in there and then you can't get them out. So I had to say, I haven't really gone wheeling too much, but I can already see a couple of little bits of rocks and even dirt and stuff just sitting in there, so not really happy about that. Let's move on to number 4. My number 4, this goes to Jeep. Why didn't you not put a motor on the rear sliding glass window? I have to climb into here and open it and close it every time I go to open it. And you know what guys, it's not a huge thing, it's my number 4, but when I'm up in the front seat and I just want to let a little more air through, with all my other power windows, I gotta come back here, crawl in, look like kind of a weirdo jumping in the back of my back seat to slide this little thing open. My biggest pet peeve with this is that you already got the defroster lines on here, so there's power coming back to this, and you even have to disconnect it to remove your hardtop. It wouldn't have taken much to put a little motor back here. So number 4, we don't need everything to be manual. We got some power windows, we got navigation in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and close this by hand and we'll go on to number 3. All right guys, so I know I said it was my number 3, but this is gonna be my number 3 and my number 2, and they both revolve around these doors on the back end of the Gladiator. My number 3, this is kind of a little pet peeve also, but it takes a little bit of material. On the Gladiator and with the JL, on the back seat here, when you go to get in, I gotta tell you guys, my passengers hopping in and out of both my JL and this, when my JL was lifted, this little cutout here is required on the JL and makes it really cumbersome and annoying to get into the back. You're either catching your hip on the door latch or you're jumping up and can't really get out. And then when you go to get out of the back of my Jeep, it's like a weird half slide to kind of get out of it. It's not comfortable. It doesn't look good when I'm going out to dinner and people in nice clothes have to slide out of the back of my Jeep. But on the Gladiator, you have like an extra 1.5 feet here of just pure real estate. And they cut the door off the exact same way as the JL. So one thing is I wish they would have just gone and just cut it and notched it out to match almost that front door, give it a little bit of a turn here and matched it up. You could have opened up this door a lot more. Now here I am talking about this when I have no control of how much it costs to retool and remake everything. But with that, I wish it would have been a little bit more opened up. Even if it take a secondary door to be designed to do that, I'm sure there's some reason why it was, but I think it would be cool if they could have done that. Now my number 2 is the same on the JL and the Gladiator. This one is just, it's a pet peeve of mine. I've had JKs, I've had TJs, I've had YJs, I've driven CJs, all that. And when it comes to these door handles here, I gotta say that these are probably the chintziest ones that I've ever seen on a Jeep. Now when I say chintzy, like they look nice, they're clean, they look like a modern door handle. But I'm used to the JK where you push on the button here, open it up. I think they could have redesigned that a little bit and made it sturdy. When I go to pull this about halfway open, like, you guys can see that, right? It just doesn't feel that well built. I mean, to be honest, guys, you pay this much for a vehicle and you've got a door handle that just slides all over the place, and I want to see how long these things last. I'm sure on the JLs, you open and close them every day. They're gonna wear out. I like the look of them, I just wish they were more solid. So my number 3 and my number 2 are on these doors here. I did say a lot of good things about them. I praised them in the love video. I love that they're so light, but I hate that they didn't notch it out there and that they made these just a little bit too cheap for my liking. Well guys, we lied to you. We got a bonus thing that I hate, so we're not doing 5 for you guys today, we're doing 6. Definitely drop a like because we're going out of our way to give you guys another thing that I hate about this. But we're gonna talk about this rain gutter up here. Now, a lot of you guys on the forums and all over the place absolutely love these rain gutters because the nicest thing when you open up your Jeep and it's raining is it's gonna pour all over your nice pants, it's gonna get all over your shirt. Heck, I've even had it splash so far as get on the automatic shifter. The entire Jeep gets soaked when you go to open it. Now the issue is there's absolutely nothing next to that. So as soon as you open this door, that's the end of the gutter, it drops all that water right inside the cab. I mean, you could have just made it a little bit longer here or something. I don't know what the fix is. I've seen a couple little impromptu fixes online, but my bonus one, even with the soft top, come on guys, it pours all over me. I'm wearing my nice corduroys. I can't go out to dinner. I gotta go home and change. That's my bonus one for you guys. So let me know if you like that one. Drop your bonus one down below in the comments. All right guys, my number one, this is an easy number one for me, is I absolutely hate the way that the frames look on these Jeeps after not even too long. Now I've had this Jeep for a month. It was produced a few months before I bought it, and the frame is already gray and chalky. The front axle is gray and chalky, and I'm just not sure what's going on with that coating. I mean, with my JKs, I painted them every 2 years because I would go out and wheel, but off the lot, even Ryan, our 2012 JK, his looks about the same as this, but it's it's 9 years old. So 9 years later, it looks like this. The first 4 or 5 years, they still look a crisp, nice satin and even gloss black. Now, the biggest comparison I have is when I look at my coil spring and wipe off a little bit of the road dust, it is a perfect gloss black. The frames on here, I'm not happy with the coatings. I mean, what I'm probably gonna do and what I was gonna do on the Hemi is pull everything off when I go to lift it, recoat everything in a nice coat of satin or a nice gloss black to get it looking clean underneath there. I just don't understand what kind of coating was used on this. Might not be Jeep's fault, it might be if it oxidizes here in PA or here in other parts of the country. But if you guys are having the same issue, let me know. Drop it in the comments below because I want to hear from different parts of the country. Here in PA, we get a ton of salt, so that might be contributing to what we got going on here because my JL frame is doing the exact same thing. Overall though, guys, my number one, all these things are aesthetic, and let's be honest, Jeep builds some of the most badass vehicles on the planet. I'm not knocking Jeep in any terms, but going through and having to pick 5 and even a bonus one of this was me just really having some pet peeves and trying to nitpick away at this Jeep Gladiator. I could make another video that would go over the top 200 things I love about this Jeep, how capable it is, the engine, the axles, the lockers, all that. But today's video are about some of the things that I hate about it. And if I'm honest, we all don't like things about the things that we buy. There's always some little things that we're not happy with and wish we would have done differently. So Jeep, I hope you took notes on some of this. This wasn't a call out, this wasn't to be mean, just some things that I've seen over the years that I think could have been done maybe a little bit differently on this one. Well guys, I hope you like that. Definitely like and subscribe our channel. Until next time, I'll see you out on the trail, and drop a comment below on some things you like or don't like about your Jeep, and also what things you're gonna replace by buying some parts right here at CJ's. Okay guys, stay safe, and I'll see you out on the trail.